use the heat gun again. I need to dart the pictures.
At 750 degrees, should we check on your bowls that are sitting right on the lid? They're probably okay.
They're still there.
Just afraid they're gonna like. It's probably pretty hot surface.
Yeah, I probably should. Do one of you guys want to bring those over here? I need to.
I'm gonna not fall.
Yeah, you should. Put the spout on there. Those pictures too.
Yeah, they're a little elevated, so
No.
I was worried about them, but
Very fortunate.
Yeah, the boards.
Start letting all this oxygen into the atmosphere. Do you guys use little batter bowls, mixing bowls?
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like they're pretty popular right now. I think all of these, like, these kind of cutout pots are pretty popular. I feel like I have to be a little careful about that. I don't know. Sometimes I try to be aware of kind of where my ideas are coming from, but sometimes you just see stuff and then like subconsciously maybe want to make that.
Well, I make a good gravy bowl too to put on a table. You know, and
A creamer.
yeah, or a larger, yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
Do you ever put a handle on it?
Yeah.
I have tried a few different versions of handles. These little pots are pretty new for me. I mean, I've probably been making them a year, which for me is still pretty new. I feel like my work evolves slowly. But I have tried a few versions of different types of handles, and I haven't come up with something I really like yet. But yeah,
Because you need a pour two-handed with that, pretty much.
Yeah.
I wonder if a horizontal handle like what you were doing in your teapots would be functional.
Oh yeah, or
That
even
may
like
work.
the side.
You could do one horizontal too.
Yeah, one horizontal would
Put
just.
like a spoon down in it that you could, it would be a
Oh, yeah.
spoon, more of a spoon holder than a.
No, you're cutting the bottom.
Yeah, I usually trim. See how there's like this little flange in here where my finger couldn't get like to where your finger's at the wheel head, and on the outside I trimmed it with the wooden knife. So I don't know. It also makes a nice surface here to finish, and also that heat gun kind of dried out the surface quite a bit. So I'll just trim that off. Sometimes I have to be careful about not making pots so thin. This is maybe like borderline too thin.
And what is it, quarter inch?
What is that?
Yeah.
3/16.
Quarter inch.
And so the way I make these feet, the thickness of the pot also really dictates how the feet are going to turn out. So sometimes if it's too thin, get these wimpy little feet. So I just press in the negative spaces. And like I was saying before, I don't want this to be like a equal rectangle. So I want this side to be a little closer than this other side. And I've just found that I like to add a little slab of clay in there. Like I could really easily just press this all the way together.
Close it up.
But I found I get a better attachment, it doesn't crack if I add a little piece of clay in there. And also kind of this shape, this negative space that's created underneath is a little shallower. I kind of like it. Where if I just pinched it all the way together, it'd be a taller shape under there.
No, I haven't.
That is stupid.
So you can see how, since it's so thin, these feet are really tiny. I just kind of blend this together and then kind of roll the foot around, shape it a little bit.
Where do you source your hardwood from?
I mostly use pine. I don't
Okay.
get much hardwood. Yeah.
She lives in a pine forest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know we're lacking hardwood out here.
Yeah.
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 Or what you can get.
So when you bought your property, were you looking for a lot of pine trees on it?
Yes and no. We have that beetle, that pine beetle,
Oh, yeah,
really
yeah.
bad. It's actually getting better, which as a wood fire potter, I'm not sure. I mean,
Like
it's
that.
definitely, it's good for the environment, but it seems, I mean, I don't
It's
know if they've
leveled
kind of
off, yeah.
run their course, but for a long time I was getting so much free wood because everybody had all these dead
Okay.
ponderosas that they needed to get rid of. And now, this last year, I've been buying a little bit more wood. For probably 6 or 7 years, I didn't buy any wood. Just like, people would just call me like, yeah, I've got all these dead trees, come get it. And that's what I was burning in my house too, which isn't great. It burns really fast in a wood stove. So this winter I bought some fir and it was amazing. I've never burned anything except for ponderosa, and I was like, oh my gosh, the fire will go all night and still have coals in the morning.
Yeah, being from Ohio, we had nothing but hardwood.
Yeah.
You know, and it would like petrify wood. You get up in the morning and you still got all
Yeah.
these coals. And,
Yeah, it's nice.
and you don't go through the cords of wood that you had here.
Down around my place in Utah, everybody burns coal.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Yep.
You couldn't do that you can't burn coal in a kiln like that at all, right?
Not
I
in a
mean, that's-
kiln. In a wood
In
stove,
their
though,
wood
you
stove.
Oh, wood stove, yeah, but I
That's
mean,
crazy.
yeah.
you couldn't do, you wouldn't get the same effect.
And the coal chunks burn forever.
Yeah. I know a few potters that put charcoal in the kiln at the end, which is kind of doing a little bit of the reduction cooling.
What were you doing with your pointed dowel there?
Oh, I just joined right in the corner where the two slabs are coming together. I just use that to join that seam together. And then I cut this at a bevel.
So reduction cool in a wood kiln, you downfire kinda, huh?
Yeah, it's so boring. It's the worst part of the firing. Because you're so tired anyways.
Yeah.
And you pretty much kind of stop the main stoking. You're just putting in like little kindling pieces, like the side stoke pieces. And I usually do it right in the main firebox. Some people will do it in every port or one of the side stoke ports. But you pretty much just like every 5 minutes or so put 1 or 2 pieces of kindling in. For my kiln, I'll do it like 4 to 5 hours. Some kilns it takes like 12 hours. So it's like 12 hours of that after you are totally exhausted.
What's your cooling time then? I mean,
Well,
when you just,
do that cooling reduction, it actually cools the kiln faster than if you just stop firing.
and then how long do you just let them sit
So,
till you can take the hots
The
out?
general however long you fire is how long your kiln needs to be.
So I thought she
For
was
my
a
kilns,
good
it's true, I fire the train for 2 days. So like, we're
Last night.
on Monday, cool, Tuesday, Wednesday.
super cool.
You get ultra
She
lazy
said
when
she
you
put
put
something
digital
else, she
film,
put
that's
some